right, as I was just talking about earlier, that there's a lot of problems happening all around the world. It's like, pretty much it's like the devil's turned up, or a high group has turned up, a bowl, things like that behind the scenes as they talked about COVID, and then COVID turned up and so on. It's a big elite group, right, that could be causing the problems, or it could be spiritual, as we always believe things are spiritual happening, as spiritual things do happen in big moments, right? So it could be a bit of both. But have a listen to this news crew, which I'm about to play in a second, and show you this list and talk about something. But what I was just talking about, this guy is about to tell you, as I was just hearing it on the YouTube, I let it play sometimes. It's a perfect time to go check something and then talk about this, right? I've just made a few videos. So I'm on another account at the moment, from my way of living, and I went out and checked out a few experiments I put there, right? And I'm like, oh, it got to 65. Here's one I haven't checked up for a while. Sometimes I check up 2 days. Sometimes I leave there for ages. Wait for a comment. No, I don't get comments or anything. So a lot of these things become nothing because no one sees it or cares about it, really. Which is sad because they're there to understand and help and fix things in certain areas and fish for things as well. But I've noticed that fishes for things behind the scenes, but then they like to keep things quiet and stuff like that. So, to find out what they're thinking, you know. When you get a comment, when you put up a clip, you're meant to get a comment of what they believe, what they think of that clip, right? But I haven't got that. Everyone else can do that on YouTube, and that since I've been on, it hasn't happened to me. No one talks to me. Blocked in some sort of way. But anyway, so I just talk to myself, and I can record this and do a book later and other things, and use this data in other ways, even though I might be just here by myself, as a lot of this area is about data collecting and understanding and learning. And so this clip here, I end up having 2 of them. I just deleted the other one, and the other one says, Satan says hi, right? Because we've got Satan around, we've got bad people around, and so I thought I'd just name that one, exactly the same clip, that, and name another one Timothy. That's what the clip is. And that one's gotten 50 views, and the other one had 65. So why did people look at the Satan one? Right? Is it Satan people worried? Or is it good people worried about Satan? So I just had this list here all made up. And we'll get up to part 2 now of this list, because I've got this guy's about the chat, and then we'll have a quick run through this. See you later. All right. So if you've seen part 1, which will help you out to understand this part 2, I was just talking about experiment with Satan, and I had one called One Name and the other, and I'm just about to scroll through this, and now play what I was just talking about in the first one, about these things that are happening. And now, are they happening because of spiritual, or a bit of both, or bad guys and spiritual, or just bad guys, right? And this guy is about to explain one of my theories about bad guys, how they call it the collective. Means they can do anything they want as long as they're powerful and strong, and they've got this stuff. It's the old style, really. They can kick your ass, and if they can, they will. And if they don't, it's because you give them something. You make them worth something. And if you don't, they're going to come and kill your ass because they can. And then they've got their rules, and that's it. And they'll make their rules, right? Which is what this guy's going to talk about. They call it a group collective to over actually science and righteousness, right? So they're going to have these group collectives, which will keep things battled and separated, or we could actually all go freedom and let's have freedom rules for everybody, like these, like America has a constitution for the world, right? So we can become more peaceful and then play around with disagreements later on, but we all go for the same rules of how we do things, right? They don't want to head that way. They want to have still the old way instead of absolute true freedom and speech like we all want and like some of us get, like they get, right? But we all want it more to at least a standard equal, right? But they just want to have it, no, it's their way, if we change it to this and you upset us, and no, lawyers, he comes, right? And no matter what, it's right or wrong, right? Hush-hush payments, all those kind of things. Oh, sorry, we can do whatever we want. We're rich, but we'll give you a hush payment to make you feel better if we get caught, kind of thing, which is sadly what happens. And so, would you want that world? If you're one of these rich people, you would probably love that world, bro. But if you're not, then you're going to say no, isn't it? Right? You'd rather get, and if you want things more equal, where people at least be equal how we get treated, so we actually get treated equal as what the Bible would say, then you'd want to go what he was talking about and starts promoting himself. The fellow that I'm about to show you, which is this guy here, which we'll have to go to. That's who. You got the other guy who's got some bad stories about him, about world domination and stuff like that. Right? Where you'll own nothing and be happy. And I guess he's the collective type, right, when it comes to that. Anyway, I'll be back with part 3 because I blabbed a bit. All right, back with part 3. As I had some things to say and I couldn't get it in 3 minutes, and I'm going to play this speech. But anyway, I pretty much got all what I said out. If you don't understand what I say in this, you need to get back to part 3. But it's a little bit about testing and figuring out things and choosing. And so what are you going to choose out there, people? Collective is just is, and we're better than you, and you can become of that group, or which is more like the Hitler way, or more freedom and science of what we know, and we work together and we work as a balance, and we all get similar rules. So when we go overseas, a lot of countries that get together with these rules would have the rules of science and learning and changing through fairness and righteousness and stuff like that, more what the Bible was talking about. I'll have a listen to this speech here.
He called out Western elites for allegedly trading freedom for capitalism.
The Western world is in danger. It is in danger because those who are supposed to have to defend the values of the West are co-opted by a vision of the world that eventually leads to socialism and thereby to poverty.
That's how it works. So I just explained in these last 3 clips of what he just said, right? And we constantly war for this shit. Isn't it annoying? That's why we circle and we go backwards in that. That we finally get something right, and then here comes this dickhead that fucks everything, right? And he's pretty much one of them, which I like to call the devil minions. Right? So what do you want to be? A righteous person? A fair person?
Just a thing to start up because we need culture.
With justice and righteousness and fairness. So you all get the same opportunities. You all become rich. You all get the same. And you all change when you need to for the righteousness, right? So if you did something wrong, you learn something better, you change to it. Because of righteousness and science. Or you just go the other one and go, no, we don't want that. We'll have loopholes here. No, we want this over. No, we're going to keep this over here to track them on that. We're going to have this over here, which is end up more better slavery, right? They end up wanting slaves like out of that, have you ever seen that comedy show with the barbarians, and this dude likes to watch people shit, right? And they travel overseas to get things and steal things. They're not barbarians, I can't remember. The Northmans, I think it's called. They want that slave like in that show where you're applying. It likes to get whipped. The slave goes, yeah, come on, you want a t-shirt off? They get off when they see that. They're like, oh, that's the ultimate thing. And they feel good when they give this guy presents and make him feel good as a normal human being, which he doesn't even want anymore, surprisingly. But anyway, see you later.
And so the EV follows a problem on transport. Why we started leaving one countries and shipped over here. A lot of ships are done because of car starting. One had, I think, 4,000 cars on it. Very expensive cars. Lamborghinis, Bentleys, Maseratis.
And a little further, courage had even furthest in the current phase of relations between the European Union and China.
In November, the CCP offered free visa travels to some Finally, for the first time in more than 10 years, Walmart managers are getting a raise. On Thursday, the major retailer issued a statement saying it's increasing their average pay more than 9%.
Well, and the fact that 20% of employers have seen that,
that's troubling, right? I mean, if you're just getting a ride, that's one thing, and they can just wait in the car. But if they're actually coming into the building or wanting to be part of an interview, that's a real problem, and wouldn't want to deal with that. But I also think that Gen Z, it's not about whether or not we lower expectations. I don't think that's it. I think they've got to be able to step up a little bit. We've got to be able to recognize we've got to manage them differently. We've got to coach them more than manage. We don't want to micromanage them. We've got to really invest in them and try to understand what makes them tick and dive into that. We've got to be able to find that unique attribute that they have and support it instead of just berating them for not doing what we think they need to do.
Exactly. Now, say years later.